Test 1, 2, August 7th, 2025.
Welcome to Jerry's Cafe.
We are a destination cafe and we offer craft food and beverages, meaning we make everything fresh on site when you order. And all of our food and our beverages are prepared and served by adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
And then lastly, just say the name. Tom? There you go. Enjoy. My favorite part of working at Jerry's Cafe is definitely interacting with friends I've met throughout the years and the espresso machine.
My co-founder Amy Philpott and I opened Jerry's Cafe for job opportunities. And a staggering statistic tells us that 80% of adults with disabilities are unemployed. I believe differently, and this is the place where our employees can work and feel proud and contribute and can see that they have value and purpose and they are given the responsibility that anyone would be given in a job. And we expect nothing less than them to perform at their highest level. So we see great success in every single employee and their independence and their offerings and activities here at Jerry's Cafe.
The large, hot, white chocolate pumpkin pie with whipped cream. It is to die for. It is delicious. It's amazing. Well, the favorite part of working here is that I get to serve customers. I am a cashier. They understand to include people with us with exceptionalities.
I wanted to tell you, I've been watching you today. You're really good at your job. You're doing great.
I always like to serve customers. The customers go first.
We are super proud of our partnership with District 214. District 214 has been a supporter from the very beginning of our foundation. And several of the schools have done fundraising and helped us get our doors open to Jerry's Cafe. Proudly, we have 12 or 13 graduates from the District 214 schools who work at Jerry's Cafe as our active employees.
This is where we do our salad prep. This is where we make all the salads. And then over here is the sandwich line. This is where we make all of our sandwiches. I have worked here since day one. I love it here. I love my supportive team members and I like serving customers. Here is one chicken Mediterranean trip salad.
We know that our community members have lots of choices, but we're hoping that you will come and choose Jerry's Cafe.
Thank you.
When you come inside and engage with our employees, you feel a sense of joy and you will start your day feeling the best way that you can with a joyful heart and knowing that Jerry's Cafe has provided you with delicious coffee, breakfast, or lunch.
All right, welcome to our 55th year of putting together an incredible community service project through our SOS class here at John Hersey High School. As you can see around me, it is organized chaos, but it is an incredible day for our students to serve our community by packaging and collecting food that's going to be going to local food pantries in our area to support those in need.
We're really happy to be able to do the food drive here at Hersey because it really just brings the whole school together and we are able to help our community and bring the energy with everyone here.
Take it out.
For the past, I would say about 2 months, we've been kind of working together with SOS, Junior Leaders, Baseball, and we've all gathered together. We've done bag and tag with collected from communities, and we've all come together, and it's really amazing to see the turnout. And then later on, we're going to be visiting 8 local food pantries, and it's really exciting. We're just thankful for everyone who's helped each other along the way. It's been really fun.
It's a team effort, but it's been so fun.
Prospect Marching Knights are heading to D.C.
We're in Washington, D.C.
Prospect Marching Knights were invited to travel to Washington, D.C. this year for Veterans Day. So we're taking the band out to our nation's capital. We're going to do some great tours of some of the monuments and the museums and a lot of the sites of D.C. But it all culminates with performances on Veterans Day. So we've been working really hard to prepare, and we're so excited for our students to have this opportunity. Throughout the trip, we had a few opportunities where veterans would actually see our group of students out and about and spoke to our students. So in addition to touring these places, our students were able to actually interact with a number of veterans over the course of the trip, which kind of made everything a little more real and genuine and authentic. So our first day in DC was really impactful and gave our students sort of a big picture overview of the city and some of the history, and really set the stage for our performance day coming up. So on Veterans Day, our morning started off with a performance at the Lincoln Memorial. There we were, right on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, facing the Washington Monument. Just a really special opportunity for our students to have a really great place to perform.
It was an honor to perform on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial with the PMK, where so much of America's history has taken place.
The experience was very impactful for me. It was a unique opportunity that I have never had before, and it was something that I will cherish for the rest of my life.
One of our students, Emily Pollock, was also asked to deliver a speech at the Lincoln Memorial.
I've always wanted to help people, so I'm going to serve my country. More specifically, I want to become an officer in the military.
Her speech was really wonderful and got a really great reception at the event. In fact, after the event was over, I had a number of veterans come track me down to tell me how great her speech was, and actually they wanted to meet her and take pictures with her because they were so moved by what she had to say.
My father served in the Navy, and so he instilled in me the value of serving and caring for our veterans and those who serve us. And so being able to thank them today and place medals around their shoulders and welcome them home was really impactful for me as well.
United States Air Force.
It was an honor to play at the World War II Memorial today. It was such an honor because music is a way to share emotions without using words.
Our performances in DC got a lot of really good responses. One of them, a story was told to me by one of our chaperones, that there was literally a Marine veteran who was at our performance at the Iwo Jima Memorial who was literally in tears watching the performance and just expressed to our chaperone how much it meant to him that this group of teenagers from the Chicago area had come out there and was performing. And he was just really moved by it, and I thought that was just a really neat story to hear coming out of the performance. So any trip like this takes a lot of time and energy to put together. I feel really fortunate that our school was very supportive of this endeavor. We had a bunch of parents who traveled with us and did anything they could to make this a great experience for our students. I'm so glad we were able to bring our students to DC. Veterans Day seemed like a perfect time to bring them, and it really, just in the end, I think the whole trip turned out really, really great, and I'm so happy we were able to make it happen.
We're super excited to have the 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit here at Hershey High School. As the truck arrived, we had Hershey parents out front with some patriotic balloons. We had Hershey students lining the sidewalks. We had some, mini American flags like they would show on the honor flights. The spirit was high.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the Stephen Siller Tunnel of Towers mobile exhibit. We have a 50-foot trailer, approximately 1,100 square feet exhibit. We travel our nation to commemorate the brave sacrifice of the firefighters, police officers that gave their life that day in the greatest rescue and recovery effort in our nation's history.
The reason we're here is at Hershey High School to come educate our youth on the happenings of that day but also the happenings of the days after. And to let them know that it was a huge tragedy. It was the single largest loss of life day we've ever had. It was also the largest rescue we've ever had as well. But just all the good that has come from that tragic day. And they're going to learn things that they can't read about. They're going to hear stories that some have never been told, some have been told many times.
Steven Siller was one of the 343 firefighters that died that morning. He was getting off duty that morning. He was going to play golf with his older brothers, heard the plane strike, heard on the news that the plane struck the building, turned around, drove back to his firehouse, Squad 1, located in downtown Brooklyn. They had already been dispatched to the disaster. He got his gear, drove his own truck to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, where he donned 60 pounds of gear, ran 2.5 miles through the tunnel, mustered up with the rest of the firefighters, and gave his life that day, honoring his oath that he took to protect life and property.
So this is about remembering. So we want people to remember, obviously, for adults to remember and for the kids to learn. So we don't want this forgotten. It's not taught in most schools in America. And they have the privilege of talking to people who are there. You know, we can't talk to people who were in the Civil War or these other moments in American history, but they can. And I think that's pretty special. Thanks for having us, and this means more to us than you. This means a lot to these kids. And these kids would be great. They're very respectful, they listen. It's nice to see.
A special thanks, especially to the FDNY crew, to the Siller Foundation, to Soldiers Journey Home, to District 214, to all of Hershey. I'm grateful for everybody. A special shout out to Bill Dustin for the Magic Spirit. Special shout out to Chief Harris, Arlington Heights Police. The coolest part about this project was there's like a whole bunch of people that were on it and did it. It wouldn't have happened without a whole bunch of people. The list is just too long, and to me, that's actually a good thing to celebrate.
This is the Rolling Meadows Band alumni event, so we decided to get the band back together. This year being the 40th anniversary of the Jazz and Meadows Festival, so it was kind of an opportunity to, hey, can we bring people back at homecoming? I had talked to some of the previous band directors, so that's Len King in the 70s, 80s, early 90s. We have Bill Jastrow and David Boggs from the 90s, and then of course Chris Booty, who retired several years ago. Those people set the foundation for everything that we have here.
I'm giving you a hug.
I'd have paid money to be here tonight. I really would have. It's one of those things that I'd pay money to be here. This is the band reunion where your closest friends were really at in high school. And so you're with your closest friends and regrouping after 40-something years and going, holy cow.
Yeah. Mr. King is the reason why I'm here today, not just at the school, but what I do in life. I owe everything to Mr. King. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have gone to college. And if I hadn't gone to college, who knows what I would be doing.
You know, some of the stuff that we're doing right now is like we never stop doing it, you know, just to be around these guys again and just hanging out. 40 years seems like a long time, but it seems like it's kind of a short time too, you know.
This is fantastic. I mean, I knew it was going to be good, but not this good. 52 of my actual students are in this group. I get a lot of feedback from them telling me how much they enjoyed the music program with me and how they appreciate music for their life. That's really special because to know that they are still thinking about me and what we did here, it's just very satisfying.
Well, I flew back and I'm glad I did, you know, especially to see Mr. King. He meant a lot to us. He just brought in the jazz and I mean, we had world class, you know, experience that most kids never would have had, you know, a real depth.
Welcome to Jerry's Cafe.
We are a destination cafe, and we offer craft food and beverages, meaning we make everything fresh on site when you order. And all of our food and our beverages are prepared and served by adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
And then lastly, just say the name. Tom? There you go. Enjoy. My favorite part of working at Jerry's Cafe is definitely interacting with friends I've met throughout the years and the espresso machine.
My co-founder Amy Philpott and I opened Jerry's Cafe for job opportunities. And a staggering statistic tells us that 80% of adults with disabilities are unemployed. I believe differently, and this is the place where our employees can work and feel proud and contribute and can see that they have value and purpose, and they are given the responsibility that anyone would be given in a job, and we expect nothing less than them to perform at their highest level. So we see great success in every single employee and their independence and their offerings and activities here at Jerry's Cafe.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to call to order the Township High School District 214 Board of Education Committee of the Whole meeting for Thursday, August 7th, 2025. Will the Board Secretary, Ms. Marini, please call the roll?
Baldino?
Here.
Chung?
Here.
Dustling? Here. Fiorito?
Here.
Heineman?
Present.
Sager?
Here.
Kreutzer?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second to go into closed session for the purposes of discussing the appointment, employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in an educational setting, or legal counsel for the public body. Motion and a second, please.
So moved. Chung. Second, Baldino.
There's been a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Chung?
Yes.
Baldino?
Yes.
Dustling?
Yes.
Fiorito?
Yes.
Heineman?
Aye.
Sager?
Aye.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion
We-
passes 7-0.
Thank you. We move to closed session, and we will reconvene at 7 o'clock.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Okay, we are back in open session. We are reconvening in open session, and can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next is the approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, please call the roll.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Baldino,
Yes.
Chung,
Yes.
Dustling, Sager,
Aye.
and Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Next, I need a motion and a second for the open and closed meeting minutes of July 10th, 2025, please.
So moved. Sager.
Second, Chung.
Call the roll.
Sager,
Aye.
Chung,
Yes.
Baldino,
Yes.
Dustling,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
and Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is public comments, but no one has signed up, so we move on to department reports, teaching and learning. Dr. Hubbard, please.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. What you'll see in your board packet is we've got a couple of slides here, but also a summary of the data from our summer experience, our District 214 summer experience. I'd like to start just by thanking Kelly Martin, who has had an incredible role in the coordination and structure of summer school and then put together the data as well. I'd also like to thank our staff and our administrative teams at the sites, both at Rolling Meadows and at Forest View, who spent a considerable amount of time planning and serving students in a whole host of ways over the course of the summer. And then most important, I'd like to thank the students who invested in themselves this summer. Students took time out of their summer, whether it was credit recovery, non-credit bearing enrichment opportunities, or get-ahead courses that they took to open up places in their schedule to take additional experiences in their 4 years with us. Our students invested in themselves, and I think that that's a true testament to not just the offerings that we have, but the students that we have that want to work to get ahead, to work to catch up, to work to support each other and continue building the relationships with our staff. Over the course of the summer that was hosted, both at Rolling Meadows and here at Forest View, different programs, we've had over 3,000 total enrollments, and so some students are enrolled multiple times, some students do credit recovery in multiple courses, some students take Session 1 and Session 2. Session 1 started back on June 9th, and Session 2 ended all the way on July 24th. We have students in graduation, recouping graduation requirements in credit recovery. We had 85% pass rate. Just online credit recovery netted 334 credits accumulated. And so that was a remarkable, I think, push to make sure that we're catching kids up and making sure that they stay on pace for graduation. And then we also have a series of get-ahead courses that allow students to take things in the summer, both online and in person. And we had over 655 credits or classes completed through that program. We have 5 different transition programs. Some of those transition programs are based on a student's course selection for the coming year, students that are taking an honors or an AP course for the first time, so they have an excelling in honors course that they can take for preparation. We also have a bridge to EL and a bridge to high school class that, based on teacher recommendations and on assessment cut scores, students are invited to participate in programming that's put together to make sure that they have a good transition and a good welcoming bridge to both EL programming and to high school as incoming 9th graders. Our International Newcomer Academy serviced 113 students over the summer. And really that is meant to make sure that there isn't a decrease in language acquisition over the summer months. So students are invited to continue their education and participate and make sure that language acquisition continues throughout the course of the year and they stay on track through that program. We have Extended School Year, which is a program that serves our students with IEPs and special education students that serviced 163 students. Graduation Acquisition is for students that are newcomer to the United States and might not be on track for graduation given their current credit status. So we offer summer credits and summer classes for them to continue to accumulate credits over the course of the summer to keep them on track for graduation. Driver education is incredibly popular over the summer. It serviced 240 students, and then we had 347 students who did micro internships and internships. And so we had students out all over the community doing various work. In the next slide, you'll see that we have a summer enrichment program through our talent development program, and we offer a series of non-credit bearing courses. There's a lot of incoming ninth graders that take advantage of these, and then there's a number of students whose schedules just during the school year are packed and don't allow for them to take things like guitar or cooking on a budget, and then there's also ACT prep folded in. So these are non-credit bearing courses, but we had 240 students elect to take non-credit bearing courses that were hosted by our staff on our campus over the course of the summer. And I think that, again, that's another testament to our students, our staff, and the relationships that we build, that there's students that are interested in coming to school over the summer and taking advantage of things and broadening their experience, whether it's filmmaking or working on college applications to get ahead and make sure that they're prepared for that process. So really grateful for our staff, everyone that coordinates summer school. I'm grateful for the buildings that host it because it's an incredible lift. Traditionally, it rotates between our 3 centrally located high schools, Rolling Meadows, Prospect, and Hersey. And so we'll be working here in the coming months to identify the location and start working on the offerings for next school year.
That's it?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Board members, Mr. Fiorito.
Yeah, my daughter took a consumer ed class, the Jump Ahead.
Yeah.
And it was great.
That's great.
I mean, the results were great. She enjoyed it, and I could tell you as a parent, the communication was outstanding. I mean, I never had to worry about it. She was way ahead of schedule, but, you know, they kept on reminding students, you know, at least my daughter, that, you know, where you should be at this point, you know, do you need any help? Certainly, it's, you know, it's the second year in a row she's done it. It's a well-run program, so thank you.
That's great. I appreciate hearing that, and I'll share that feedback. Those get-ahead courses can be challenging because it's a lot crammed into a short amount of time. But with the staff and the students working together, we see a pretty high success rate.
Yeah, let me get the name of the teacher. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I'll send it to you.
Great, thank you.
Dr. Chung.
I could actually say word for word what Vice President Fiorito said. My son took consumer education and also, yeah, just had a great experience. And as a parent too, I got emails and updates. And so I just echo everything he said. So thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, we're good. Thank you, Dr. Hubbard. Next is the superintendent's report. Dr. Rowe, please.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Kreutzer. I actually have a little bit of information to share with you this evening. You may recall in the winter to spring months, we had a public commenter ask us to review our honors designations and how students are recognized. And in the past, the district recognizes students in graduation who have accumulated 4 consecutive semesters of earning honor roll designation, and then those students who earn 7 consecutive semesters of honor roll designation. So we took that and actually went back and I asked our assistant principals or associate principals of instruction to review our current practices, determine if they still meet today's standards and they stand by them, or if they would like to make a recommendation for a change. And they did that, and over the course of the spring and then the summer, they've come back a couple of times with really great conversation and meaningful dialogue at their level, and then engaged the principals and then Dr. Hubbard and our new director of curriculum and equitable practice, Mrs. Lavacek, in terms of for feedback. And so where they landed is they would like to, their recommendation, and we've accepted this recommendation, and DEC has approved this, and we'll put it into practice for this school year, is we'll be replacing that practice with a new honors designation. Honor roll will be 3.0 to 3, and the numbers don't change in terms of the honors designation. It's just when students are recognized. Honor roll will be 3.0 to 3.79 consistently across the board. High honors 3.8 to 4.19, and highest honors 4.2 to plus. What was eliminated was the 4 and 7 consecutive semesters designation, and it really becomes the cumulative GPA that you earned during your time is what matters. So the nice thing about this is all students earning those designations will be recognized by their individual schools in January and June. So students will be recognized for honor roll after each semester, and then culminating their GPAs upon graduation. Students that meet those designations with a cumulative GPA, whether that be through unweighted or weighted, the highest of the two, following the seventh semester, so winter break of their senior year will be the cutoff point for those recognized at graduation with their cumulative GPA. But in order to keep students engaged in that spring semester still mattering, their transcript designation will use all 8 semesters, and it'll be noted on their transcript that we send off to the schools or post-secondary institutions of their choice. It was important to note this change publicly because school starts next week. Obviously, I wanted to acknowledge it publicly so it was out there in the public before school actually began. This will be cemented in our course academic course book that comes to you in the fall. It'll be included in there. You take action on that, but this doesn't require action. This sits with the administration. So. Most importantly, I think the win here is more students will actually be recognized for their academic efforts and success. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions on that, or I can move on to some of my other topics.
Board members? Okay.
All right. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think the end of the day, the positive outcome is your cumulative GPA is what matters, and then the 4th and 7th semesters seemed and felt arbitrary. So next topic is the strategic planning measures will be in front of you at our next meeting. As you recall, you approved the strategic plan in April, and we did that in order for the board that initiated the process to be able to take action on that plan. We'll be coming back to you the next meeting in 2 weeks with the actual metrics that we aim to accomplish over the course of the next 5 years. We'll be painting a picture of those goals and some of the specific actions that we'll be taking in year 1 to start driving towards those metrics. So we've been working on those. We actually shared some of them for feedback to administrators on Monday, but it'll be to you for action at the next board meeting, and then the strategic plan will be, quote unquote, I can't say complete because we're not going to be finished with it, but the structure of the strategic plan will be complete and approved, and then we'll be off to the races. We have a lot of wonderful work planned. I can tell you, I hope that you'll feel as energized as our team did when we laid everything out that we're preparing to tackle. It's exciting, and the future of the district is extremely bright. I'll couple that good news with some not so good news. The buildings in our school district continue to give us surprises. The roof in the Forest View A building, so not the building that we're currently in, but the one next door. Our operations team has been chasing a leak for the last 8 months, trying to figure out where it's coming from. That roof is a gravel top roof. So the way that looks, there's a concrete roof, and then there's the subroof where insulation and some mechanicals live, and then there's the roof that's exposed to the elements that has gravel on it. It's a gravel top roof, and it can be very difficult to find a leak because a leak can live in a seam and run to a different part of the roof. So Mr. Yulee and Mrs. Misstack have been, and their team have been, and our CMA team have been chasing that leak for 8 months unsuccessfully. Even conducted something called a nuclear test, which really highlights and tells you the links that we've gone to try and figure this out. So we got to the point we can't locate where the leak is starting to fix it. So they decided it was time to do a boring sample and determine if any of the insulation or that subroof was damaged. And unfortunately, it is extremely damaged to the point where the roof needs to be replaced. So we will be bringing a hefty, $1.5 million price tag for a roof replacement this fall, because if it reaches winter and freezes and thaws, then we have not only a roof to replace, but we're going to have unhealthy conditions for our kids to learn in. So we'll be replacing that this fall, and we'll have that in front of you for approval at the next meeting. I just wanted to highlight it tonight so you had a chance to chew on it and ask any questions in the window between now and then, or get some additional information. And then finally, the really good stuff. We've had an amazing summer. Sometimes it always seems to go by too fast. And then we get to this week, and the excitement really builds that we get to welcome our kids back next week, which is a high point for us all. We welcomed our new administrators on Monday. We had a really great day highlighting the strategic plan and some of our activities with them. We brought in some guests in the afternoon who led us through some activities on change management as we're implementing our new strategic plan and managing some of the change that our buildings are inevitably going to see with our new direction, to put our administrators in a position where they can really be supportive of our staff as we drive the direction we're heading. So we held that kickoff on Monday of this week. We welcomed our new administrators and supervisors last week. We have a really strong group coming in. Certified staff, the new staff came yesterday. We have 25 new certified staff members joining the district team, which is a pretty small number if you think about a district of our size, which says some positivity about our retention rate. And then we're excited to welcome our staff and our kids back next week. It's going to be a week full of excitement and 95-degree weather, so it'd be fun in the sun for sure. But as we transition, I want to say a couple of thank yous. I want to commend our administration, obviously Mrs. Kraft for the leadership in HR to get our hiring to a point where we're in a really, really good position. But also our administration at our building level who have prepared with their staff to be ready for kids. There's some really exciting themes and fun and energy that are being infused into our buildings. And then I'd like to give a shout out to our CMA staff. Our youngest building, as you all know, is 52 years old. We've got the best CMA group in the state, and our buildings are beautiful. They look really, really good. There's been a lot of outside work done to beautify them. You may notice some even in this building, but the team did a really great job over the summer. They worked extremely hard, and I just want to commend them for their work and thank them. And that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
We also welcomed support staff at that day in the theater. Kate, I'm looking at you. How many new support staff did we have? Do you remember?
They weren't all there.
I know.
About 2 dozen?
Yeah, it was a great group. Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Rowe? Oh, the roof. Is there something that needs to be done like today or yesterday or something?
No, we have it set to where there's a one conference room on the third floor that water is presenting and dripping, and Mr. Yulee and team have it set where it's not affecting anything in the actual rooms. Everything's protected. We just need to take care of it for long term.
So when we have students,
they won't experience it at all.
It won't impact learning.
All of the work will be done at premium time, which means after school hours and weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, no students will be displaced.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rowe. Okay, we have a few action items. Can I have a motion and a second for approval of accounts payable?
So moved. Baldino.
Second, Chung.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Baldino. Yes. Chung.
Yes.
Dustling. Yes. Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Sager.
Aye.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Can I have a motion and a second for 10-1-2, please?
So moved.
Second, Heineman.
Thank you. Dr. Attaway, anything to add?
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that as part of the transition to the new food service contract, Quest conducted a detailed review of existing menus and pricing across all 6 high schools. Through that review, as noted in the memo, we found that while full meals have been priced consistently across the district, a la carte items and specialty food items have varied both in pricing and portion size from school to school. I think it is important to note that we also learned that this variation was not a result of an oversight. Rather, it reflected an attempt by each school site team to be responsive to student interests at their buildings. That said, one of our key goals moving forward with the food service program is to provide consistency and predictability for all students. So To do that, we're standardizing both the portion sizes and product offerings across the district. That standardization will allow us to align pricing so that all students, regardless of what school they attend, will have access to the same food at the same portion size for the same price. It also makes our program a lot easier to manage and evaluate in partnership with Quest. So the proposed prices that you see in the board packet reflect that standardized model, and they were developed with input from Quest using current food and labor costs as well as trends in the industry. Again, I really want to be clear about this. This shift is not intended as a criticism of past practice at all. In fact, I want to acknowledge the work of our site-based food service teams who built programs that are student-focused. This really is a next step, building on that foundation in a way that brings consistency, equity, and efficiency to the entire district. So with that, I am recommending that the board approve the proposed food pricing for the current school year as presented.
Board members.
Yes, question.
Mr. Dustling.
What's the relation of our food services to input from the federal government or the state government as far as milk or other items?
So I do believe that we receive funds for the special milk program, but that is the extent. We are not part of the National School Lunch Program or the breakfast program, so we don't receive money from the state or the federal government for any other food items that are sold.
Okay, as I recall, when we were in the program, none of the students were eating the food because it just wasn't tasty.
There are quite a few more restrictions that come with participation in that program.
Yeah, really. Okay, thank you.
I like Mr. Dustin, just for context, we administratively, Quest leadership met with superintendency last week, I think, and kind of gave us an overview of what they've been focused on. And some of the in-service training with our food service team as they are coming back is really centered on scratch cooking in each of our kitchens, and from making of the pizzas in-house to, so a lot of that training is where their focus is coming. So they really stand by and highlighted the recipes that they're using to ensure just that occurs, that our students not only like but want to eat.
Yes. One last question. Do we have a full staff at each of the schools?
To my knowledge, we do, yes. And they've been going through the training with Quest.
Okay, good, thank you.
Board members.
So I have a question about the pricing. I noticed that nearly every price went up. Is that because portion sizes needed to be adjusted? Is it because of, increases in raw materials and the cost of groceries these days?
I think it's all of the above. In some cases, there were portion size adjustments. Jell-O is one that stood out. And in a lot of cases, the cost of food is escalating rapidly. That combined with labor cost really forced Quest to recommend some increases to some of our food prices to make sure that we were covering our costs at a minimum.
But these are locked in now for the full school year.
Correct.
So they won't be going up.
They will not. Quest will not bring a recommendation for price adjustments mid-year. We may see a couple price adjustments that they recommend for next school year, but that will come in the spring. And now that the main adjustments have happened, we'll probably see very few recommendations for future school years.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else? Dr. Chung.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that the prices are going to be standardized across the schools. I do worry about any students who rely on school lunches but might not qualify for the free or reduced lunches, how this will affect their ability to have the school lunches, especially at the schools that will experience just a relatively higher increase than the other schools. So just wondering what you found in your research about this. Are you doing things to monitor, maybe student surveys, or just asking them about their usage and how the costs? Yeah.
We will be. So I have experience with Quest from a previous school district, and Quest does a really good job of seeking student input throughout the year on a number of variables, cost, efficiency, food taste. They're really good at surveying students and making sure that students are enjoying the food that they're eating and that students feel like they're getting a value for what they're what they're ordering. I can tell you that Quest has a principle that they stand by, and as do we at the district, that no student who needs to eat is going to go without food. Regardless of whether or not they qualify for free reduced meals or if they have money on their lunch account. Student needs to eat, they will eat, and we'll make sure of that.
Thank you.
Okay, I think it's important to remember that this is the first year we're using Quest management. So I'm not surprised with all the changes that came through, but welcome addition, really pleased with it. Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, call the roll.
Fiorito?
Yes.
Heineman?
Aye.
Baldino?
Yes.
Chung?
Yes.
Dustling? Sager?
Aye.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, can I have a motion and a second for 10-2-1, please?
So moved, Sager?
Second Chung.
Thank you. Okay, I have a statement here I want to read before I open it up for comments, if that's okay. Tonight, we are voting on a new partnership with Power Ad Company to launch a structured sponsorship and advertising initiative for athletic facilities. If approved, we will work with the new digital scoreboards at Wheeling and Buffalo Grove High Schools. This has been a measured, thoughtful approach to ensure that all content materials remain appropriate for our schools and that the district retains full control over approvals. There is no cost to the district to participate. This agreement has the potential to generate additional revenue that can go back to programs, equipment renovations, and other things that support our students. Most importantly, we are building a foundation for our future partnerships in a way that aligns with our values and serves our community. Is it Mr. Mogi? Would you like to start, please?
President Kreutzer, I have no additional comments at this time.
Mr. Yulee, anything? No? Dr. Rowe? Okay. Board members, questions? Mr. Dustling.
You know, as I said at the last meeting on this topic, I'm basically opposed to selling or using district or school facilities for sponsorship or advertising purposes. Possibly this is a generational thing for me, I'll grant you that. If AdPower is approved for engagement tonight, there are still questions I have about the process. I was told initially that the focus for sponsorship or ads will be for new or updating scoreboards at Wheeling and Buffalo Grove High School. Beyond that, I'm not aware of other projects or areas that Power Ad will focus on. I was also informed that funds generated by Power Ad will be deposited in a district account, and funds from that account will be distributed on an equity basis across the district. What I don't understand is the equity process for the distribution of funds. Who decides the equity needs for distribution? Is there a committee that decides? Is the distribution decided by a person or district staff? Across the district and in our schools, we have different demographic situations and many co-curricular programs in fine arts, athletics, academics, and other programs that could use funds to support students. How will equity be used and by whom to distribute the funds in support of students? If the funds generated by Power Ad become part of the accounts that support our 10-year, $800 million capital forecast, the amount through Power Ad that will be generated is really a drop in the bucket compared to that forecast. And depositing those funds in the capital accounts does not directly support the students in various programs that we currently have. So I am opposed to the process, as I said at the last meeting, and I'm still opposed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dustling. Board members. Dr. Chung.
So for me, I think in thinking about this topic, there are two things that frame my perspective. The first is our board policy on sponsorship and advertising, which was adopted last spring, and then that $850 million plus in facilities needs across the district. So in terms of our board policy, I want to quickly read two things that stood out for me. First, the integrity of our learning environment must remain a top priority as sponsorship, naming, and advertising opportunities are considered. The second sentence is, the district must hold sponsored and donated materials to the same standard used for the selection and purchase of curriculum materials. So this is an incredibly high standard, and I think that what makes this possible is exactly what you said, President Kreutzer, that the district is going to retain final approval over all ad content and placement. And so knowing that the integrity of our learning environment is top priority, and knowing that we are going to hold the ad content to the same standard that we use to select curriculum materials, that gives me confidence that we are going to be very selective in what will be displayed and where it will be displayed. And then the second about the, $850 million plus in facility needs, I appreciate that that revenue is not going to be school specific. It's going to be directed toward our capital projects fund to support facility improvements across the district, and that's important because we are accountable to our community for how we manage our resources, not just whether and how we spend money and save money, but also whether and how we take advantage of opportunities when it makes sense to bring in money so that we can do anything we can to offset our reliance on taxpayer dollars. So Member Dustling is 100% correct. This is, it's not going to bring in that $850 million, of course not, but I think every little bit helps when it makes sense, and to me this makes sense, so I'm a yes.
Thank you. Mr. Fiorito, please.
I'm also a yes, but I do want to, I do agree with Bill that there are some answers that we're going to need somewhere down the line on this bucket of money and where it's going to go, and make sure that there are the proper controls in place, and that we as a board, we have, I won't say we have a say in it, but we understand why we're doing and what we're doing. I also want to raise a concern that, and I'm pretty confident that this group of administrators will do the right thing in that I don't want our football stadiums or our baseball stadiums or whatever to look gaudy, just overrun with ads left and right. I mean, we're not Wrigley Field, and I'm pretty sure that you guys will take that in consideration too. If and when it really takes off and we get a lot of activity, we don't need to see an ad every 5 feet of fence and where somebody can't even see the ball field. So that's a concern I have. I am a yes vote. I agree with a lot of stuff that Vicki said, that I know it's a drop in the bucket, as Bill also said, but anything we can do to bring additional revenue into our school district to help offset facility projects somewhere down the line is a benefit to all of our stakeholders in our district. Thank you.
Ms. Baldino, please.
So I want to thank Mr. Justling for his comments and sharing his concerns, and I have given this a lot of thought. The thing that I want, that really made me more confident about this proposal, is that this feels like a pilot, that we have an option at the end of the term of the contract to say, what, this is really not appropriate for our district, it's not working for us, and we're going to end this agreement. And so if we're starting with just a couple of schools, and we have control over the type of advertising that we're doing, then I'd like to, get some feedback and see how this works out, and really revisit this at the end of the contract term to see whether or not it's something we should renew. And we have that option, we have that ability.
Thank you. Dr. Sager?
Yeah, so I share Member Dustling's concerns along with the benefits side that other board members have spoke to. And so I think it's a balancing act of making sure that this is done tastefully and in a way that we're not over-advertising to students, but it's directed at spectators at sporting events. And I think as an additional revenue source, finding that balance of making sure that we're bringing in revenue that can offset taxpayer dollars and get benefits ultimately for our students makes sense. There's a lot of local businesses in our community that District 214 already partners with. They host interns from our district. They help with our career pathways programs. They employ our students and aid our district in a myriad of ways. And I would hope that this would be an opportunity for our local business partners to have an additional way to show support for District 214. So I'm going to be a yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Rowe, anything to add?
Well, I would just add that I don't share the same concern because I've seen it in action. I think that what I can assure you of is anything that the district takes on will be done with the highest level of class and taste. We have expectations of ourselves and the standard that we uphold for our community. It's not something that we take lightly. As for the bucket of funds, you're right, Mr. Dustling. This is not going to produce a windfall of dollars. We're talking about the windscreens along the fence in our football stadiums, and ads on the video screen and around the video screen in our football stadiums, and then the basketball gymnasiums only. That's as far as it will go. And it will not be gaudy by any stretch of the means. And in terms of management of the funds, that will live with our operations team in terms of where those funds need to be allocated in terms of based on project need. As just another source of dollars that we can spread throughout the district based on where the needs live. But I have the utmost confidence in our operations team, and as I said, I've seen it in action in the districts. And I've seen PowerAd in action, and I believe them to be a good partner, and I think that you'll be pleased with the direction that we go, and you won't feel that we've fallen short of the expectations you set for the district. Thank you.
I believe that this district does have high standards, and we live by them, and I believe that this will come through with PowerAd too, that we really stick to those high standards, and that whatever comes out that will be content appropriate for not only the students, but people in the community. Roll, please.
Sager,
Aye.
Chung,
Yes.
Baldino,
Yes.
Dustling,
No.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
and Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-1.
Thank you. Moving on. 10.3.1, please. A motion and a second to approve personnel reports.
So,
Heineman?
second Chung.
Call the roll.
Heineman,
Aye.
Chung,
Yes.
Baldino,
Yes.
Dustling,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Sager,
Aye.
and Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Motion and a second to approve 10.3.2, please.
So moved. Baldino.
Second, Fiorito.
Thank you. Any additional discussion on these two job descriptions? Call the roll.
Baldino,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Chung,
Yes.
Dustling,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Sager,
Aye.
Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. And our last roll call on for the evening, 10.4.1. Motion and a second, please.
So moved, Fiorito.
Second Chung.
Thank you. Dr. Hubbard.
Yes, thank you. As you all know, we have an incredible program here in District 214 that's referred to as the Practical Architectural Construction Program. We call it the PAC program affectionately. And in conjunction with Design 214, it's a program by which students take a home and over the course of 1 to 2 years completely remodel the home and equip themselves with experience from plumbing to electrical to framing to finishing to roofing. It's really an incredible program. And as the board knows, we are halfway through a project currently in Mount Prospect at 201 North Elm Street. That project is a 2-year project where we placed a second story on a 1-story home in Mount Prospect. There was an open house held in May, and many of you were there to see the progress. And it's just absolutely remarkable. And just a brief update on where we are there. It has been completely roughly framed. The second floor mechanicals are done. This fall, the focus will be on finishing the exterior before the winter comes. And then this year's crew of students and staff will be working to demo the first floor, install all the utilities and the finishing work. Our goal is to have that property ready for viewing and up for sale in May. And so at this time of year, we are responsible to find the next property. And the reason that we look at it a year in advance is that it takes, first of all, quite a bit of time to make sure that we get all of our permitting and we have our plans put together for the next project. But more importantly, it gives our students an opportunity through the Design 214 program to really help partner with the architects to develop the design. And we've identified a number of homes in the area over the course of the last couple of months. We've been visiting homes, and we found one at 2310 Bluebird Lane in Rolling Meadows that we got really excited about 2 weeks ago. And we spent some time going through the home and decided that it was a great idea to put the program there back to Rolling Meadows. It's a great piece of land with a home that has an incredible amount of potential. We're not sure yet if we're going to go up or out or a combination of both, but I think that that's the exciting part for our students and our teachers to wrestle with and debate. But our plan right now is to purchase the home at 2310 Bluebird Lane, and work can begin underway in terms of permitting, planning, designing, so that next summer our student apprentices can help prepare the home for then the fall of 26, our PAC students to get in and dig in for what will turn out to be likely another 2-year project. And so we're really excited about the prospect, about the opportunity, and I think it's really exciting. And so we're here tonight with a contract. I will say that there's a neat story to the home, and we put in a bid for the home, and the sellers received bids that were higher than ours. But associated with the bid that we make, I wrote a letter on behalf of the district, and Dave Wiederzak, who's a teacher at Rolling Meadows, wrote what he refers to as Dave's love letter to the seller, talking about the importance of the program and the opportunity it provides our students. And the seller is a retired educator, and her daughter is a teacher, and she said that she didn't need to see any more offers after she saw our offer with the letters. And so I think this is a great opportunity for us to have another project to begin to explore. And so we're here tonight with the contract and hopefully recommending that the board approve.
Okay. Recent memory, I think this is our third house in Rolling Meadows. Yeah. Board members? Anybody? Okay.
Well, I'm going to share a quick
Go ahead.
story. Maybe my favorite text message of the summer that I received is, Dr. Hubbard's new in his role in July. And I got this text message as he was going through these conversations, and it just simply says, "I think I just bought a house." It was awesome. I loved it. Had to share it. It was fun. Congratulations, Dr. Hubbard. I think you just bought us a house. Thank you. Very cool.
Okay. Call the roll, please.
Fiorito?
Yes.
Chung?
Yes.
Baldino?
Yes.
Dustling?
Yes.
Heineman?
Aye.
Sager?
Aye.
Kreutzer?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. So now we're on to just discussion items, and we have proposed policy changes. Dr. Rowe, anything to add?
Thank you. So this will be really quick. It was a fairly small press update. The press update really offers legal updates and footnotes and mainly 5-year review. The only change of substance that I think is worth noting has to do with board members' oath of office. And in the updated oath of office, it was an explicit addition was made where the district each district has to chime in and say whether they would add this. Based on my conversations with Mrs. Kreutzer, I think you'll agree it's a no-brainer, but it outlines the specific action of if a board member violates the oath that you take publicly at a board meeting and during your swearing in, it lines out the course of action that boards may take, up to the warning, a formal censure, and then the Regional Office of Education, the regional superintendent would have the ability then to remove a board member. It formalizes that process. Hopefully that's not something we ever have to endure. I don't anticipate it will be with the way you all conduct yourselves and run business, but I wanted to highlight that's really the only change of substance. And again, this is first reading, and it will be back for discussion and approval at a later date.
Okay, board members? Okay, great. And 1112, please, Dr. Rowe.
All right. As you know, we bring about this time of year the calendar for a school year away from 2 school years away for approval so that families and school districts and honestly, a lot of our sender districts can plan their own calendars. So the 26-27 calendar is in front of you. And this has been vetted not only by administration, but gone through a standing committee with representation from all of our collective bargaining agreements, and is a wonderful group of team that takes this role very seriously, looking at the trends around the area. I will tell you that we had a healthy discussion as to when spring break falls, as it's been falling lately in the last couple of years, and we always take the last full week of March, and there's been a trend where some districts are beginning to shift to that following week. So we kind of did an analysis of who around us is taking breaks when, and where do our teachers live, and our employees live, and do breaks in the school districts, if they don't live in District 214, are we going to have families that are going to have tough decisions to make? And it's not significant, so no change was needed. I just wanted to share that this is a detailed process that the team takes seriously. So we have this calendar before you for discussion, consideration, and approval at the next meeting.
Don't you try to get quarters the same days, 45 days?
Yes, the semesters. The semesters are balanced, and I believe within 5 or 6 days of one another. The spring semester is always difficult because it's always longer, but
Yeah.
that kind of drives why we are starting on August 12th next year instead of maybe a week later, so we can keep balanced semesters.
Okay. Board members? Mr. Fiorito, please.
I'm just wondering, throwing out a suggestion here is there any chance we could add to the school calendar the graduation dates, now that we're now on different dates? I mean, if we had anybody that would attend this meeting and they were looking online, they would see this and they would know what the graduation dates are. So it's just a suggestion I'm throwing out there.
We don't have those yet for 26. Do we?
We
have
do.
that?
We
Oh,
do have
Okay.
the 2027 graduation dates, but given that they're on different dates, I think that was why we left them off. So we'll leave them for the schools to add them to their calendars, but whenever we get it to a weekend, then definitely.
Okay. Thank you. Good point. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, great. Mr. Dessling? Could you turn your mic on, hon?
Whatever. I noticed on the school calendar that when we get down to the end of the year, we've got the spring break on March 19th, and I'm looking at, I guess there's two different calendars here. I'm looking at the one that looks like this. Down at the bottom, it says we've got a spring break on the 19th, classes resume on the 29th, and then we got non-attendance day on March 26th, and then last day of class is the 27th. This bottom part is different than what's over in this other one. Is that going to create any confusion?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The first one shows an order, 19th, 26th, 27th, 31st. The other one shows different.
You see it?
Oh, I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. The class, I got you, Mr.
So you can
Dessling.
fix that for next
I
time?
will fix that and have that updated for approval. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Dessling.
I am awake. See?
It's good. Glad to know it. Okay. 1121, Mr. Yulee, please.
Thank you. For your consideration is the purchase of 160 new radios. The district has heavily invested in our safety and security infrastructure over the last few years, cameras, card access, our overall system itself. Recently, we've upgraded all of our building repeater systems, basically the antennas that allow the radios to interact with one another. And so it's time for us now to move on to radios. We're sitting on roughly 800 radios across the district, and they're $1,000 a piece. And so we have to chunk and phase this. And we are starting with our administrative teams, our school administrative teams, and emergency response teams, along with our campus safety teams. The radios also give us additional capability. We talk about safety and security in terms of redundancy. We have text alerts on our phones. We will now be able to have text alerts for 911 emergency call buttons on these radios as well. So it just adds another layer for us as well, and we have to bring them up to speed.
So we're going to do every year till we hit 800.
I don't know that we need 800. That's part of this process. I think
Okay.
when we think about radios, we can think 8 to 3, and then we think after hours. I think we can use some of those radios also after hours
Yep.
as well. So not everybody needs a radio. So that's part of this process too.
Oh, understood. So a review of who's got the radios.
Yeah.
That was my question. Who gets them first? But
The security team.
100,
I think the
160.
purpose is it builds in a cycle that we can follow.
Yeah.
And a replacement cycle then that is controlled so that it's not all over the place.
I've talked to Dr. Rowe about this. Everything should have a cycle. Everybody should have a
Absolutely.
date of when to replace. Mr. Dustling, please.
When we bought the radios, probably 8, 9 years ago, that was the second coming. That was supposed to be it. You could, talk to certain groups, and you could not have other groups breaking in on it. Is the replacement of these things, is this just a normal technology thing that we're going to see?
Yes, yes. Part of also what we're doing is we have, depending on the building, we have up to 14 channels. So we're also kind of honing in on just more simple, 4 to 5 channels max. But yeah, to Board President Kreutzer's point, we need replacement cycles. And this is part of also what we're resetting.
Great, thank you.
Technology moves at lightning pace. Any other comments? Okay. Who's up next? 1031, Dr. Hubbard.
Yeah, I'm back for the final time this evening. So there's a process by which the Illinois State Board of Education allocates federally issued title monies. And one part of the process is the submission of what they refer to as a consolidated district plan. And ultimately, what we're responsible to do is to articulate, and you can see, I think it turned out to be 53 pages, articulate exactly what it is that we're doing to address the needs of students from low-income families, most importantly, and students that are academically at risk for a variety of reasons. And so we talk through what our plan is in terms of the usage of district monies in rolling out and administering our interventions, and it allows us to articulate what our plan is to utilize title funds, whether they be in Title I or Title II, Title III. And so this is not a plan and a process that needs to be brought before the board annually. It only needs to be brought before the board when there's substantive changes that are made. And so the last time this was brought forward was back in 2021, right in the midst of COVID, and essentially it articulated what the district's plan was to address learning loss and to utilize ESSER funds. Now that ESSER funds are gone, and now that the board has approved a new strategic plan, it obviously impacts our approach and our plan in terms of identifying students in need of intervention and how we plan on utilizing the title funds. And so this is a hefty document that's been put together, and Dr. Marcella Zip has done much of the heavy lifting, almost all of the heavy lifting actually, and put this together. And essentially what needs to happen is we're seeking board approval this evening, or at the next meeting. This is an informational item tonight. At the meeting on the 21st, we're seeking board approval. We then submit that to the state, which then allows us to then put in the grant applications for the individual title grants. And one of the things that came up in having reviewed this is there's a couple of places where there's essentially placeholder information. One of the instances is near the end of it where it talks about our bilingual parent advisory council. And what we have to do is submit the attendance from that council. However, that council has not met yet this year. So we put a placeholder in all the names of the parents that we intend on inviting, and then we initially submit to the state the plan, they approve it, and then as things change or if things need to change, we would send an amendment to the state. And so our plan after the BPAC meeting would be to update, as you see on the document that's in here, it's only lists of parents and guardians. We would identify Vice President Fiorito, who's part of that committee, any staff members, any administrators, any other community members that participate in that process, and then we would send forward an amendment. And so what you see tonight is as full as we can get it as we sit here today. The hope is to have it approved at the next meeting so that we can send it to the state, and then we'll amend it as we need to and send it back to the state.
Have they set dates for this year? Do you know?
Excuse me?
Has the group set dates for this year, when they're going to meet?
I am not aware of the specific dates. I am aware of them having an invite list.
Okay,
They know who they're going to include. I don't think that they've set dates.
just as long as Mr. Fiorito gets the information.
Absolutely.
Understood. Questions, board members? Okay. Mr. Dustling?
No doubt, it took a tremendous amount of effort for Marcella to put this together. Obviously, it has to be done because the State Board of Education said it's going to be done. But what I'd like to know, does anybody really look at this at the state level? I mean, do they really look at it and ask questions about it? Or is this just another 53-page thingamajig we got to send in so that if we don't send it in, we don't get any money? And nobody looks at it to see, you know what I mean? I guess I'm just talking to the choir here, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, no, Mr. Dustling, I have the same question about the school improvement plan. Do they really read the school?
I think we are the choir, Bill, but I
don't
can't
see any way
say
to-
whether they do or not, but they keep sending the dollars, so we're going to assume that they do, and if it's a rubber stamp, at least, we're putting the dollars to good use. That's maybe the most
I
important
hope the
part.
dollars they send us weigh as much as what the hell we sent in with this report.
Okay, Ms. Baldino?
Sorry.
It's okay. Ms. Baldino?
No, I'm not sorry at all.
I actually was going to ask who did the work on this. As a newer board member, I found it really fascinating. It was a lot to read through, but I learned from it. And I want to just express my appreciation to Dr. Zip. That was very good work.
She does put an incredible amount of time and effort into this, and for the questions in which she needs feedback, she does reach out to people to make sure that she has as accurate information as possible. She invests a lot of time and hours, not just in this, but then also in the subsequent grant applications.
Thank you, Mr. Dustling, for that colorful analysis. Okay, one more item, 1141. Ms. Kendrick, please.
So this evening I'm bringing up LearnWell, which is the hospital program's contract with LearnWell to provide academic and social emotional support for students throughout their hospitalizations, and as well as treatment ongoing when they return back to school. These LearnWell will support our students. We've seen a different level of teachers in these programs most recently, especially Alexian Brother contracts with LearnWell, and that's where most of our students end up being hospitalized. And the level of teachers has been really excellent. Most of them have a learning behavior specialist, so they have the capacity to teach our students with IEPs in special ed. And we've seen a huge increase in communication back to our school teams as well as to our families. And that's been a huge, huge difference from when there used to be one teacher and one hospital liaison at every single program. And so most importantly, the academic progress with our students has increased significantly, which, as you can imagine, makes the transition back to school much, much easier when students feel like they are not playing catch up as they return back. We have anywhere from 300 to 350 students hospitalized we have had over the last 5 years. And each year, we have used all different programming at different hospitals, but LearnWell is becoming more and more prevalent in the hospitals that we use or that our students go to. And so last year previously we had paid per student. Last year we proposed a fixed fee proposal so that we were paying a flat rate, and that saved us $30,000. So we are asking for your approval of a fixed flat proposal again this year.
Board members? Great work. Appreciate it. And this will come back at the next board meeting for approval. Okay, before we adjourn, I just want to wish all staff and students a welcome back next Wednesday. I think a few board members are going to be at the schools to welcome the students, but wish everyone a great first day and a great school year. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So move, Sager.
Second, Heineman.
Call the roll, please.
Sager.
Aye.
Heineman.
Aye.
Baldino.
Aye.
Chung.
Yes.
Dustling.
Hurry up.
Fiorito.
Yes.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
We are adjourned.